I don't decide what content to post anymore. I let this workflow do it for me. And the point of this workflow is to scrape YouTube, Twitter, and do a Perplexity search to get top data on the industries that I want to stay on top of, and ultimately take all that data and feed it into the data synthesis and report generation section here, which is going to take all the data across the platforms. It's going to merge them, aggregate the data, and feed it through my report generating AI, as well as the content and brainstorm AI node, and feed me a custom email every day, as well as custom content ideas in my Airtable base. As you can see here, this was the report I got in the morning today. So it's going to give me the too long, don't read section, my daily report for AI and automation. So this is just a high level breakdown of what the report consists of. I can see what's trending on YouTube, what's trending on Twitter, what's trending on Perplexity, and then ultimately going to give me the breakdown of the key content ideas for the week. And it's huge for content creators who really don't know what direction to go with the niche that they're in. If you guys don't already know, you can gain my templates by joining my school community. The link is in the bio below, and steal it while you can. You might be wondering how this all works, so I'm going to go through it at a high level and give you a base idea of how this works. But this is just connecting to YouTube to pull the actual videos that we want to scrape. And this is the search term. So I want to pull 10 videos about AI automation from YouTube. And then it's going to get the YouTube data through this HTTP request. Okay. It's going to filter out my shorts. So this is the code that I put here to filter those shorts out based on duration of the videos. And this is an Appify HTTP request. So it's going to post this and it's going to grab the transcripts that were hooked up from the previous nodes. If you guys aren't familiar with Appify, it's a great place to grab custom actors, as they call it, and they do all sorts of things. Google Map scraping, website scraping. But in this case, I'm using this specific actor for transcripts. If you guys have questions about how to set up the API and how to connect a lot of the different pieces, you're more than welcome to join the school community for those reasons exactly. You guys can post in the community, ask questions, as well as join my Saturday calls for more in-depth answers. But in any case, that data and the transcripts are going to send over to the AI portion of this workflow. And this is the simple prompt that I have set up, and you don't have to stay stuck to the prompt that I have here. You guys can edit it as you need, but this is definitely a solid base for you guys to start with. And this is just to parse out the information, title, link, quick summary, and deep dive, so that I can feed it into my YouTube Airtable and then aggregate the information to send over to the merge. And as you can see here, this is the Airtable node, which is going to update my Airtable base. As you guys can see, here are a plethora of content ideas for my business. In terms of the YouTube videos uploading into Airtable, I have a custom tab here. You guys can also gain access to this Airtable base template for yourselves in the community. And it's going to upload all the videos and give me a quick summary so I can double check what videos it pulled. Moving on to Twitter, this is going to be the Appify node that pulls the actual tweets from Twitter. And in the same way that I showed you Appify, it's just going to be a different actor that we're using. And this is going to be the Tweet Scraper V2. Link is also in the community. It's going to aggregate all this data for me. And then in the same way that it did up here after I got the transcripts, it's going to take the tweets and it's going to run it through an AI model, and then it's going to parse that information out for me, split it out, put it into my Airtable in the same way that it did the YouTube videos, but for this section. And I'd like to note that for these particular AI models here, I only did the 4.1 mini. In the AIs over here, I actually used a higher version of ChatGPT. In this section over here for my reports and content brainstorming, I actually did use ChatGPT 5. So it's going to run the tweets through the AI here, and we can see the prompt. Again, you guys don't have to stay glued to the prompt that I have set up here. You guys are more than welcome to change it to your liking and to your needs, because what's best for me is not always going to be what's best for my clients and my viewers. So keep that in mind when using this for yourself. And just to show you what this split out looks like, it's going to split everything out, take all the data for me. And just so you guys are aware, this is what's going to be splitting the tweets up for me. So it's not just one massive output. And then we have the edit field section here. So it's going to send the data out as JSON output. And last but not least, we have the Perplexity search. And just so you guys know, Appify as well as Perplexity are not super expensive. Appify is maybe $35 a month, and that's for all the credits you would use. For each actor's run, it's sometimes maybe like 3 cents a run, sometimes less, depending on the actor that you're using. But Perplexity in general is also very, very inexpensive. And here for the search, I have it set for what are the top 3 trending news stories in AI and AI automation today. But that's going to change based off of why you're using it and what you're using it for. So then what we're going to see here is the Perplexity summary is going to send directly to the merge, right? And it's going to send it as a JSON message. But down here, you can see this is not connected. This is going to format the message, okay? It's going to connect it to ChatGPT. I also use 4.1 mini for this. It's going to parse the information, split it out, and then add it in the same way for the tweets as well as the YouTube videos into the Perplexity news. So what just happened? It just pulled the YouTube videos, pulled the transcripts, took all the information and organized it for me very nicely. The same thing done for Twitter and the tweets, and then the same thing for the web search. So what's happening next is it's going to merge all the data. Okay, so we're going to open this up. 3 outputs that it's connecting and appending. It's going to aggregate all that information into an output, and then it's going to send it through each one of these sections. So what's the difference here? The report generator is what's going to generate the content for the email that we originally saw before. And this is what that prompt looks like. And it's going to send it in HTML so my email looks super clean. So it actually looks like a report was sent to me, right? So you can come down here. I would pretty much leave this alone. The only thing that I would change is the name of the report for yourself. And then stepping back out, I set up this open router. And then walking into this, the open router setup here, I'm using GPT-5. So it's going to run GPT-5 on both of these, right? So after it sends the email, it's going to come down here. And here is the prompt I used for the content brainstorm. Okay, here are the important output rules. Only output valid JSON so that it would feed into the next nodes properly. And then as you can see here, this is basically all the information and how I want the agent to act for my content ideas. Okay, no surprises here. You guys can change this to your liking, as I have mentioned for the 3rd time. But basically, this is all pretty standard. And then ultimately coming down to the last bit here, going to parse the information out. We're going to split it, okay, for the content ideas, for all the individual ideas. And ultimately, that's going to go back here, and it's going to give me my content ideas. So you're not going to be guessing anymore. This is pure data hunting. And the final tidbit here, right, when I'm actually creating my content, whether it's long form or short form, what I'm going ahead and doing is, for the most part, the newest content ideas, I'll just take, I'll copy them, and I'll typically open a new chat in my project, and I'll paste the ideas, and I'll say something along these lines. I'd say something like, based on these ideas, give me 5 short ideas and one long form idea. So we'll let it run. And there it is. You guys could take it a step further and create a custom GPT that's trained on how to actually view this data from the workflow every single day. You could probably even automate that process. But if I want to go and expound on any of these ideas, I would just take this one and I'd say, okay, let's expound on this idea, please. Okay, and it's going to go ahead. It's going to give me the structure, give me a simple script if I choose to use it. And then I can create the content however I want. I can use one of my AI avatars on HeyGen. I can do a raw video like this, and the sky's the limit. And that's it, guys. If you feel like you've gotten value out of this, like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Leave any feedback or questions you have below. And if you want to steal this template, just join the school community. Link is in the bio, and I will see you there.